Hello everybody, welcome back. It's day 5 of Wimbledon, which means it's day 5 of the Coffee Morning presented by Lavazza. Jenny's back as well, and I mean, my goodness, just like the weather yesterday, the tournament seems to be really heating up.
Oh, absolutely, Danny. What an incredible day of tennis it was yesterday, and topped off with the fact that the sun finally was shining here at SW19. But honestly, tennis-wise, you couldn't take your eyes off the screen or off a court because it was just incredible match after incredible match.
And somehow we've got to try and round it all up in half an hour and preview what's happening today. But I mean, look, it's early. We're not even halfway through yet. But we may have seen a contender for match of the tournament already. Angelique Kerber, the 2018 champion, she ended up beating Sara Sorribes-Tormo in 3 hours, 19 minutes, and it was 3 hours and 19 minutes of just exquisite tennis from beginning to end.
It really was. It was unbelievable. Such a battle between those two ladies out there yesterday. Each set lasted over an hour, and the average shot rally length was 8.15 shots, which is just incredible. But kudos to Angie Kerber, who hasn't really found her form over the last couple of years, but won in Berlin last week and now has come through into the third round. What an incredible battle it was between those ladies.
Yeah, she's looking good. Now, if you did miss it yesterday, definitely go back and watch the highlights. But if you did miss it, this is match point, and believe me when I say this is very much in keeping with the previous 3 hours and 19 minutes.
The occasion, the effort, the stress, the pressure finally got the better of Sorribes-Tormo.
Love 40.
An hour and 20 minutes after her first match point. 3 more for Kerber.
Kerber. 2 sets to 1. 7-5.
If a match
5-7, 6-4.
Ever deserved a standing ovation here at Wimbledon on any court, it's this one.
It was just incredible, wasn't it? It really was.
It was, and there was a 5-minute standing ovation for the players too from the crowd, who just thoroughly enjoyed it, which was incredible. And actually afterwards, Angie Kerber posted a photo on Instagram of her in an ice bath, and I'm not surprised. The legs must have been hurting.
I imagine the coaches probably did as well after watching that.
Absolutely exhausting. 3 hours and 19 minutes, folks. What a match.
It's going to take some topping, but there were stories everywhere you look yesterday. On centre court, we had Sorana Cirstea beat Victoria Azarenka. This was really nice because Sorana Cirstea, she said after the match that she'd been playing tennis since she was 16 years old, and you could tell how emotional she was. She said, it's the best atmosphere I have ever experienced, with a big beaming smile on her face. It was one of those interviews that just a really lovely moment.
Yeah, it was really heartwarming, and she really won over the crowd, I think, as well. She'd never beaten Grand Slam champion Vika Azarenka before in her career, so that was really a massive victory for her. And then her reaction afterwards, she's just a really humble woman, so everyone was delighted for her. But Danny, the interesting thing is who she plays next in the third round.
Well, it's very interesting for us British tennis fans because she's going to take on Emma Raducanu, 18 years old. She came through against Marketa Vondrousova yesterday, a former Roland Garros finalist. It was the first time that Emma has played anybody in the top 100, and it's the first time she's beaten them.
Honestly, it was quite an incredible victory because Emma really hasn't been playing a lot of tennis at all over lockdown, and since the pandemic began, she didn't want to travel due to the risks of COVID, and also she's been sitting her A-levels, so she hasn't had a lot of match practice at all. And then now to be in the third round of Wimbledon, it's just incredible. And her maturity level too, the way she speaks to the press, it's fantastic for her.
It really is. What a summer that would be, eh?
Yeah.
She's waiting on maths and economics A-levels when they come through in a few weeks' time, and she's doing this on her main draw debut here at Wimbledon. Extraordinary couple of weeks for that young lady. And another one, talking about showing maturity, Coco Gauff Goff was in action on centre court, and she keeps up her 100% record.
It's just remarkable, isn't it? She's 17 years of age. She beat Elena Vesnina yesterday in straight sets. She said after her first round match she was extremely nervous, but she somehow managed that in the second round. And she said she's a bit of a different person from a couple of years ago. But folks, she's saying this at 17 years old. It's just remarkable. I mean,
What were you like at 15?
Total riot. You?
Absolutely not as mature as she was, believe me. I would not be doing what she is. But yeah, she said different person to when she was back here last time. I imagine she's about to do some damage in the ladies' draw. Across to the men's, we saw Roger Federer back. He was pretty professional. Looks like he's rounding into a bit of form against Richard Gasquet.
Yeah, of course, he came through that slightly lucky first round match when unfortunately Adrian Manarino had to retire due to the injury. But yesterday against Richard Gasquet, straight sets, which Federer will be delighted with, certainly for the body as well. We know that he's 39 years old. So, but Richard Gasquet has a terrible record against Federer. That was their 21st meeting, and Gasquet's only beaten him twice. But Federer through and into the third round against
another Brit, Cameron Norrie. We're not used to being able to talk about so many Brits all the way through. But Norrie took on Alex Bolt, the Australian qualifier. Very professional, looked pretty good doing it. It was interesting. That match finished just before Federer was starting. The post-game interview on the court, he was asked, who do you want to place? He knew it was going to be one of Federer or Gasquet. Obviously, the crowd very much enjoyed it. He gave a little shrug, a little chuckle, and he just went, come on, Gasquet.
He did.
It's going to be fun, though. Now he's playing Roger.
It was great because I managed to speak to him on the Wimbledon channel afterwards, and he didn't want to play Federer because he lost to him once before, but also I can't wait to see that third round clash because, well, he's a Brit, so the crowd are going to be for Cam Norrie, but equally, that's the question. Who are they going to go for? Because Roger Federer is so loved here at Wimbledon, but what an incredible opportunity. That will definitely be on centre court.
Well, speaking of the crowds, you spoke to Daniil Medvedev as well yesterday. He took on Carlos Alcaraz, someone I saw in his first round match. All effort, and that was really popular with the crowd.
Yeah, Alcaraz is a really exciting young Spanish player, just 18 years old, but Medvedev got the better of him pretty clinically yesterday, and he said that himself. He played incredible tennis, and he's so excited to see what he can do here at Wimbledon, especially after he won his first grass court title last week in Mallorca. So definitely watch out for the second seed Medvedev, who's never gone past the third round before.
Maybe until this year. We could honestly go on for so long about what happened yesterday, but one other match that did catch my eye was Nick Kyrgios. He beat Gianluca Mager in remarkably professional circumstances, really straight sets, but it was classic Nick Kyrgios. His first service game included 2 aces and an underarm serve, and then on match point, he did this.
Progressing through to the next round. So without a permanent coach, taking suggestions from the crowd. And there it is. Nick Kyrgios with a clinical demonstration of incredibly efficient serving. 29 aces for the match. Metronomic consistency underpinning this straight sets victory.
And that wasn't even the only time during that match that he went and asked the crowd for some shot playing advice. He next plays Felix Auger-Aliassime. That is going to be tasty. And no surprise, Nick Kyrgios is included in yesterday's shots of the day.
He certainly is. Plus a couple from the Kerber Classic and one that could potentially be shot of the tournament so far. Take a look.
Well, first of all, it was a delicate drop shot from Sandgren. Beautiful court coverage from Zverev to run the initial drop shot down and get a racket on it. And despite being 6'6", it was easy pickings for Sandgren.
15.
What a shot.
Oh. Well, that was something else. And the earliest of breaks of serve.
Well, it was right in front of us in the commentator's box, and that was outstanding.
super touch.
That is definitely worth another look at. Look at that technique on the drop shot, coming right underneath it. Great feel.
Oh, it's hit. So clever from Kerber, bringing purposefully her opponent up to the net.
And this is one of the toughest things to do on grass too. Come in off your opponent's short ball. Very hard to prop and get back and do something positive.
That is stunning.
What a point that was. What a bit of touch. This is nasty. It's short, it's low, and he does exactly the right thing. He gives himself a little bit of time and a stretch. He just keeps control of the racket face. Very, very nicely done.
Amazing!
Come on, get the crowd up. Get the crowd up. This match could go on for some time. Both players trying to throw in the incredible touch. Volleys, look at this. Sorribes Torma just having the match of her life. Silvia Espinosa, that's what I taught you.
Oh, that is brilliant from Kyrgios. A celebration, having secured the second set point opportunity.
Are you kidding me?
That is the shot of the tournament. Gasquet just clubs this.
Oh, I know everybody watching us on the hill enjoyed that, but the feel-good factor wasn't just limited to matters on the court.
No, it certainly wasn't. There were selfies, slip-ups, sunshine, champagne. Oh, that maybe was just me. No, I'm kidding. I'm the ultimate professional. In case you missed it, take a look at some of the best moments from day 4.
To look your best on a big day.
Let. Replay the points. Up 30.
And there is the problem. The pocket of Sandgren turned inside out, causing that ball to spill.
At time.
Well, you may have heard a pop over the FX mic. That's because that group are about to enjoy something chilled. Wonderfully soft hands. Now, it's happened again.
Rena Lichtenstein's getting on the phone to the referee's office.
Yeah, can we get some banana for
Oh, it's bananas. Nothing dramatic. Banana order.
I don't think we can do
Oh dear, he missed him.
Graduation racket abuse warning, Mr. Duckworth.
Don't see that too often.
A picture of the court as well. That's a decent photo.
Delivery has arrived.
Oh, I think he got there just in time.
It almost really hurt.
Couldn't write it.
Might be the best shot of the tournament so far. The scoop off the net.
Well, some great moments from day 4, and I tell you what, I can't wait to see what happens on day 5. And to talk us through the preview of today, Adam Hunt from the Wimbledon channel has come back to join us. Adam, I have to say, if you have a centre court ticket, it's looking pretty darn tasty out there.
Yeah, pretty lucky. 3 great matches. You've got the British interest later with Dan Evans and Murray. I know we'll talk about that, but the match first up should be a really interesting one. Ons Jabeur against Garbine Muguruza. We've spoken about Jabeur before on the first day. She's a bit of a trailblazer for North African tennis. You know, they've not got the richest heritage really at Wimbledon or, you know, at the top level. And she really is a wonderful character both on the court and off it. And I just love watching her because she's so different.
She is.
Her style of play, you never quite know what's going to come next. She does the forehand slice, backhand slice. It's not, you know, textbook tennis. I don't think you'd look through many coaching manuals and find the way she plays, but it works. And she's had a great grass court season. She won in Birmingham coming in here, and she's continued that form through.
Absolutely, and Garbine Muguruza, she's been struggling of form of late, but this is a real opportunity for her.
It is. Muguruza is a flat track bully, is the cricketing term, isn't it? The players who play well on good surfaces. She's just like that. When she's confident and playing well, she's unstoppable. Sometimes it's up here that can get in the way. We've seen her struggle with nerves, closing out matches before, and that's really the question mark over her. If she's feeling good and she's hitting that forehand well, then, you know, she's unstoppable. She's certainly a contender here at Wimbledon. If you know, the nerves step in, or if Jabeur tries to mix it up, and that's why I think this matchup's interesting, because Jabeur is going to, you know, chunk it, dice it, slice it. It's going to be difficult for Muguruza to get in a rhythm, and it'll be interesting to see how she deals with that.
It certainly will be, but following that incredible match will be Dan Evans and Sebi Korda. Sebi into the 3rd round of Wimbledon for the very first time. He ousted Alex de Minaur, the 15th seed, in the 1st round, but what an incredible matchup this is set to be.
Yeah, it'll be a good match for Dan Evans, but what a family, the Kordas. Got Peter Korda.
Talk about overachievers.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he's through to the 3rd round of Wimbledon for the first time, but actually that was overshadowed by what his sister did at the weekend. She won her first major, Nelly Korda. She's got another sister who's a great player in golf as well.
A dad who's a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, they've got the correct genes, I'd say, for a sport. I mean, surprising, I suppose, in some ways that he chose tennis and they chose golf. But you know, he's done really well here. He's quite an exciting player. He plays under the US flag because that's where they grew up in Florida, and that's going to be a test for Dan Evans, because Evans before at Wimbledon has always struggled. He's been quite unlucky with the draw. I remember he got to the 3rd round a few years ago, but then he played Federer. He's always come up against someone, you know, in form or a top seed, and that's prevented him from getting further. Because actually, when you watch his game with that lovely backhand slice, the way he moves, the way he hits the forehand, it suits the grass court. He likes fast surfaces. He's had some good results on the clay this year, which is a bit of a surprise, but you'd look at his game and say that he's perfectly placed for grass. So it'd be interesting to see how they get on there, because Korda, he's young, he's confident, and he's going to give him a good match.
Yeah, he's certainly fearless at the moment, is Sebi Korda. Someone who I guess is also maybe a little bit fearless right now is Sir Andy Murray. He's taking on Denis Shapovalov, 3rd on centre, and I'm sure the hill will be full later on today. After what happened in the 2nd round, my goodness, I think we're excited for this one.
Yeah, the atmosphere, you know, if you're lucky enough to be on centre court, it's going to be brilliant in there, but all around the grounds, whenever Andy Murray's playing, there's a huge buzz here at Wimbledon. It doesn't matter how many people are inside the gates. Interesting again to see how he gets on, because you know, he's had that long match in the last round against Oscar Otter. He's going to be tired. Question marks again over the injury and how that, you know, the build-up of playing point after point after point on centre court is going to affect him. And also his opponent, Denis Shapovalov, great player, and also he got a walkover in the last round. So he's had his feet up on the sofa. You know, he's got a chance to watch Andy Murray, perhaps see where the weaknesses are. So I think if Andy is going to struggle in this one, I think it'll be the physical struggle. It's not going to be because, you know, he'll be up for it, and he's proven before that he can go toe-to-toe with a player like Shapovalov, but, you know, the big question mark is over his fitness.
Absolutely, and he's playing a lefty too, so a little bit of a different matchup here. Who else are you looking forward to watching, Adam? Because I know the court directly behind us is a pretty good match first up here at 11.
Well, that's the thing. The back end of the first week is always a good time to have a grounds pass. You know, if Murray's playing, you can watch that later on the big screen on the side of court 1, but there's great matches everywhere. The doubles have started, so you can watch some doubles as well, which is always good to see the differences between doubles and singles, the volleys, the quick rallies. We've got Francis Tiafoe playing Karen Khachanov. Who knows which way that goes. Tiafoe, you know, I think coming into Wimbledon this year, not too many people who don't watch tennis all the time knew too much about him, but he's a great character. We saw the celebration he gave when he played his first match on court 1. He's made himself into a bit of a fan favourite. Also noticed on the order of play that Stefanos Tsitsipas is playing with his brother, Petros Tsitsipas. So we were discussing before we came on, what do you call a group of Tsitsipases? Is it Tsitsipai maybe?
Tsitsipai, Team Tsitsipai.
Yes, exactly,
right?
a crowd of
I think
Tsitsipases.
it's Team Tsitsipai. Yeah, they've been playing doubles most of this year together. Obviously, Tsitsipas went out in the first round against Francis Tiafoe, so he's hoping to right his wrongs of that match. But one other one that caught my eye was Italian Fabio Fognini up against Andrei Rublev. I mean, that is set to be pretty fun indeed.
Talk about characters, Fabio Fognini. Most of the time it's in Italian, so I'm not quite sure what he's saying, but he's similar to Andy Murray and a few of the other players, where he's just constantly talking to his box. It's a running commentary. He gives us a run for his money. It's so entertaining to watch. Perhaps not the best suited to grass. You know, I'm sure he'd say, you know, clay is his best surface, his best results. His titles have mostly come on clay, but he's just always entertaining to watch. He's complaining about it. He's so dramatic, so Italian. Yeah, no, I love watching him, and I'll be sure to check out that match as well.
Absolutely, I interviewed him the other day, and he was standing on the media balcony with a woolly hat on. Yes, folks, at the end of June, but it was, to be fair to him, cold that day. Anyway, Adam, thank you so much for stopping by. We're very much looking forward to seeing those matches later on. Well, yesterday, Danny managed to head over to the Wimbledon Museum to see a Wimbledon icon painting. Take a look at this.
The collection here at Wimbledon's museum is growing all of the time. One of the new things this year is this rather magnificent portrait of Sir Andy Murray.
Yeah, we're absolutely thrilled and delighted and grateful to the National Portrait Gallery for lending this to us for the rest of the year.
And this is by Maggie Hambling.
It is. She's an eminent artist, and apparently she got on really well with Andy, being a tennis fan. So that's a terrific combination for a process which sports people don't find the most comfortable thing to do. You know, being still in a studio, being observed by somebody at close quarters, may not be their most comfortable scenario.
So how did it all come about?
Well, for us, the National Portrait Gallery is closed for a while for refurbishment, and they started up a scheme called Coming Home, where they lent out works from their collection to places with which the subjects of the pictures are closely associated. So obviously, Andy coming back to Wimbledon fitted the bill really nicely, and we ourselves have been closed for a while. But here we are, open free of charge at our first championships, and so it was absolutely the perfect time to borrow the picture.
So has Andy been down and seen it? What does he think?
Yeah, he has been down. I mean, he's obviously seen it before, but it was great for him to pop in between matches and see it here at the home of tennis.
Of course. It's an incredible piece, really. There's so much movement in it, which I imagine is quite a challenge.
It's a real challenge. I mean, for sports museums, keeping up with the times is a challenge. For artists, trying to portray the dynamism and the character of the player is also a real challenge. Here, Maggie Hambling has chosen to depict him in various typical Andy poses, and it's got a real sense of movement to it, which is fantastic. I think original works of art, however you see them, always encourage discussion, and that's one of the great things about this picture.
We're a few days into the championships. How has it gone down with the public?
Oh, the visitors have been flocking down, and they've been, asking us where the picture is because they've heard about it. And I think the general feeling is it's good news.
Fantastic. It's great to see. It's right at the end of the tour around the museum. Make sure if you're here at all the championships, you come down and have a look.
It's just wonderful to see that. You were learning lots there, Danny, yesterday.
Yeah, Adam Chadwick, who we were speaking to there, is the head of heritage here at Wimbledon, so he looks after all the museum and all the stuff that they have in their collection. And yeah, the portrait itself is really spectacular. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was. It's really cool. It captures sort of Andy in several different phases, I guess, of a tennis match, and the way that the movements captured is really, really spectacular. It's in the museum, which is on the ground, so if you've got a ticket for any of the tennis this week or next, it's free to go in while you're on the ground, so make sure you go in there, have a poke around. There's loads of really cool stuff that we'll show you a little bit later on in the fortnight, but yeah, and it's open when the tournament's not on as well. It's well worth a watch. There's lots of stuff in there.
Definitely. Well, actually, we have a bit of an art theme going on today's show on day 5. Are there any artists out there? Because if there are, make sure you tweet in a photo of any drawings or paintings of your favourite players. Hashtag Wimbledon thing. I know Danny, after yesterday being in the museum and with the theme of today, he's been scribbling down a portrait, haven't you?
It needs a little bit more work. When I say a little bit, a lot more. I need to somehow learn to become an artist. I'm not very good, so we won't be showing that on the show.
I know. Is it currently at the Stickman stage?
That's a bit advanced for me, I'll be honest. It's not great. But yeah, we've seen this, the lovely clay figure that Jay sent in. We had another one in from Sue, who I think was on the hill actually behind us, watching Cameron Norrie, and in her spare time while she's watching the tennis, did this. Look how cool this is, a lovely little watercolour picture of the hill with a big screen and number 1 court in the background there, watching Cam Norrie beat Luca Pouille.
I tell you what, that is
so
a
good,
serene day on the hill here at Wimbledon with your watercolours. I hope she had a Pims in hand as well.
I should hope so. I imagine that helped the artistic process. Yeah, any of you guys over our shoulders up on the hill, if you've got any artistic talent, do show it off. We'd love to see what you come up with during the afternoon today.
Absolutely, definitely send it in. Hashtag Wimbledon thing, of course, and we're very much looking forward to seeing what artists we have out there.
Absolutely, and if you are on the hill, I'm sure you'll be doing what happened on Wednesday evening when Andy Murray was in action late into the night. My mum and dad were here on the hill. They absolutely loved it. The atmosphere was awesome apparently, so if you are still here and you can stay here for as long as you can, stay until they kick you out. It's great fun being on the hill for,
everyone
these late night matches.
Everyone was here in the dark. It was great. I was home at that point actually, but everyone was here in the dark, and I'm sure they'll be doing the same thing because we'll all be urging on Andy Murray. Not biased in any way, shape or form, as you can hear my accent.
Not at all. I'm sure Billie Jean King will be watching as well. She was tweeting about how great it is seeing the nation just absolutely captured by stuff like that. But our time's almost up this morning because 11 a.m. here in London, that's when the players start walking out onto the courts. I heard a little ripple of applause behind us with Francis TFO, as we were saying, is on this court 18, which is right over our shoulders. So we need to clear off and make room for some tennis, but we're off to go and do some stuff for the Wimbledon channel.
Yes, we are.
Anything exciting happening today?
Yeah, we're going to check out some of the hampers. So basically, I'm quite excited because I get to eat and drink whilst presenting, so that should be great fun. And also, I'm probably going to try and stay put and watch some of this match back on court 18. It's set to be an absolute cracker.
Well, do let me know when you go off to go into that hamper, because I might just need to, just watch and observe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, is that all right?
Yeah, I'll give you a buzz. No bother.
Happy days. Yeah, well, if you are on the grounds, then enjoy your day's worth of tennis. If you are not, you can follow all of the action. Wimbledon Radio or the Wimbledon channel is all on the Wimbledon app that you can download for your smartphone. It is absolutely excellent, even though we're on it.
It is. Do check it out.
Yeah, it's well worth the download. So that'll keep you caught up with everything that's happening around the grounds on every single court. So until then, I guess our time's up, unfortunately, but we'll be back, same place, same time. Hope you can join us tomorrow. But until then, do enjoy day 5 of the championships.